add a lot of orgy flavor to. Ooh, that sounds gross. Orgy flavor.
What kind of podcast is this?
What's up, dude? We are back.
What's happening?
We were loud again.
We are loud
We
again.
are we are still loud. I don't know.
We're
How do
still
you want to say that? What?
yeah. We're still loud. Yeah, I
We're
like that
still
one.
loud. Okay, quick comment.
Yeah.
Rad shirt again, dude.
Thank you.
Your closet has just got. I just want to go and just sit and stare at your closet for a minute. Like you got the coolest shirts.
We were talking about them, I think either the last episode or the one before it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I still have my shirt because I remember buying this shirt and I wore it for a ton of shows. In
yeah.
fact, like the intro to the video version of our podcast has me wearing this shirt.
Oh, nice.
Um, and when I realized that, I'm like, I still have it somewhere. So I went and dug it out of my closet. I don't know why, because I think, and I remember the show that I saw him at, I couldn't have been more than 22, 23,
Right.
maybe 24, but I was not a men's medium, and this is a medium. And I am like, I'm sucking it in right now, to be honest with you. But I wanted to wear it for the full effect.
There you go. Wearing your compression dog fashion disco shirt.
Yeah. 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 And I think it's doing the same in the intro video.
Nice. Hey, at least you can fit. I probably wouldn't be able to fit at all, dude. I am double X through and through.
I had to think about it. I'm like, do I go down this road or do I just put on my Adidas jacket or something?
There you go. No, you did it, and you did it proud because that shirt rocks.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was a fan.
Awesome. Well, that's cool, man, that you got so many shirts like that. It's so cool. Like we've had this discussion off mic, and it's like, I'm jealous.
I don't throw anything away.
Evidently not.
That's and it's so cool. It's a problem. It's
a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
We have an 8-bedroom house, and 6 of them are for all my clothes that I can't.
Random stuff, one for guitars and all that stuff. One for storage of my T-shirts. And I'll be honest with you, like the shelves in my closet are like, I can't keep them up there. They're just falling over because I can't shove any more in.
Yeah.
And then I try and they just all kind of come right back out. So
you're like, honey, we got to move.
It's like, closets. Yeah, we need to knock this wall down and extend the closet back another 6 feet.
There you go.
But yeah, I did realize that the majority of my wardrobe is band merch.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Even currently, like the T-shirt drawer that I actually use, it's all band merch.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I had a bunch too, man. I had a lot, and it just through the years, it was just because I cut the sleeves off of a bunch and whatever, and then I start wearing.
I had to. I didn't fit in these ones.
Right. Yeah, and I start wearing them for mowing or something like that, and they just slowly just started fading away and decaying. So I just slowly just started tossing them all in. But I should have been a little bit more gentle with them and kept a bunch of them because I had some cool ones. I like a really sweet In Flames one that was like my favorite. And yeah, man, I miss those days. But
yeah, it's tour merch has definitely gotten a lot more expensive.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Heck yeah,
there to support. So.
Right. I gotta tell you one thing too before we jump fully into this episode. So the Astro Creep, discussion that we had a couple episodes back, that's spurred some stuff. I've had a lot of people come at me about that, and I never thought new metal, zombie could be new metal, and so, but it lines up and everything. So I just thought that was cool. We've got some buzz on that, and I've had some people around me and stuff come and talk and talk to me about it and everything. And they're like, never thought about that. That's a good idea. That's so that was cool. I thought that was really neat. And so I've been cranking Astro Creep ever since because it's like, this is new metal. We deem it. There's a flag in it now. So
I had the opposite experience. I had a number of people call and text me saying, that is not new metal. What is wrong with you? And
because they what do they think, industrial or something? Or
the industrial
Yeah.
metal. And I'm like, that's okay. I get it, but you can't like, and of course we're just putting it out there for conversation. It's not like
Right.
we're putting a flag in the ground saying
No, no,
this is
no.
what it is and deal with it. It's like,
Well,
who are
I
we to
am.
say that? But okay. Yeah.
I'm just
Fair
joking.
enough. Fair enough. But it's like, it's up for discussion and it's
Yeah,
like, you know, people bend genres all the time, you
absolutely.
know,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it fun and innovative. And but yeah, I was, the amount of calls and texts from, people who I've played music with or friends or
Right.
whatever saying, nope, not new metal, sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
okay.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
again, and again, we already discussed all this or whatever, but like the one thing that I would say to the whole thing is that it might not have been intentionally new metal, but the overall sound of it might have spurred off and
Mm-hmm.
created something else, and that's,
100%.
where it's like, Korn was doing their stuff and Zombie was doing this, and somebody's like, what if we took a little bit of Zombie and a little bit of Korn and we,
Yeah.
a little bit of Sepultura and,
Yeah. We,
sprinkle it all together and
You know what I forgot to mention in that episode is they actually did a tour together, um, early 2010s,
oh, really?
and I don't remember the name. Something Dreads, like that was the
Oh,
common denominator.
yes. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
wasn't Back to the Dread or something.
Something like that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
something having to do with
Return of
dreadlocks,
the
and I'm like,
Dreads or
see,
something like that.
there it
Yep.
is, there it
Yep.
is, there you go.
Yep.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Tied together forever. So suck it.
It's a done deal. Tour already happened,
That's right. Two already happened. Yep. There you go.
but
But anyways,
but again,
it's the
yeah,
way
go
it
ahead.
is.
Yeah,
We're calling it new metal. So here's the new rule. If we talk about you on our podcast, you're new metal.
yeah,
So if
yeah.
if you're a country singer, look out. It's gonna happen. So
I feel that's where we're headed. It's like you've got like country rap now.
yeah.
It's like country new metal is going to be a thing.
Right. Well, it's funny
Not
that you
really,
say that
but
because
it'd be
have you seen
hilarious.
that? Yeah, have you seen that video of Biscuit where they like? It's like one of my favorite videos of theirs. Like, it's probably from a couple years ago, and I don't even know. I don't think they're even in America. I think they're somewhere else. But yeah, Fred comes out and like they just have this enormous backdrop, and it just says like new
New
metal
metal cowboy.
cowboy. Yeah,
Hmm.
and Fred's just
Yeah,
dressed
yeah,
head to toe like a cowboy, man, and like he was
yeah.
freaking representing, man. He had the
Oh,
belt buckle and
yeah,
everything, and but he's out
yeah,
there and he's dancing like a cowboy to his own music and stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
dude, go for it, man. That's
yeah.
awesome.
And I don't know if we had this conversation on mic or off mic, but so like my wife and my stepdaughter, we have, our kind of family chat or whatever, and we would make stickers out of Fred Durst and send them to each
Nice.
other, like and then iMessage or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, the new metal cowboy one got a lot of rotation
Nice,
in that
dude.
chat.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's fun.
pretty
Well,
funny.
we don't do the stickers, but me and my boys, we do we're always like, hey, it's Fred Durst Friday, so but yeah, there's like they tend to do like they try to make it like a week long thing of Limp Bizkit sometimes, or it's like it's West Wednesday, and it's John Otto Thursday. What? Or
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that doesn't.
Wait, that
There's a
doesn't
T in
work.
there.
That
Yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't
work.
work at all, But yeah, they just get pumped about Biscuit, so that's cool. I do too.
Yeah.
It'll pull you out of a
It's
bad mood.
it's fun and that's all it was meant to be.
Yep, absolutely.
So
So
some people take it way too seriously. And
yeah.
that's how you get
Speaking
a new
of,
metal cowboy.
that's right. Speaking of fun and Fret and Limp Bizkit and all that stuff, we got a super cool episode today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the Corn Family Values Extra Value CD.
Mm-hmm. Who remembers
So
that one?
gosh,
That was
I
alive at the
remember that.
time.
I remember that. That
I do too.
was yeah, heck yeah. And then like obviously the Family Values tour was epic. I mean, that
Yeah.
was I mean, what a great idea. I mean, obviously they had a bunch of cool bands and stuff, but then like blended so many things together, They had Ice Cube and just all sorts. I think they had Cypress Hill come with them a couple times or whatever. I mean, they just had all
Probably.
sorts of
Yeah.
that's like a big circus of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
that was like I just remember going, yeah, this is our generation. Like this is because if you think about it, like say back in the days with Motley, Cinderella, whoever, all that stuff, Poison, whatever you're listening to
Mm.
back then, it was like you would never think about, maybe besides Aerosmith, but I still think it was a little bit different. But either which way, you would never think about, seeing NWA with Motley Crue or something like that. You know what I mean? It
Mm.
was just
Hmm.
like there's these guys and then there's these guys, and it was so segregated.
Yeah.
And I felt like our generation coming up, I remember like listening to Motley Crue and Metallica and all these other things, but I also listened to Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and
Yeah.
all the NWA and I mean Public Enemy and all this other stuff. And I was like, man, I can like this and I can like that. And I can,
Oh yeah.
I'm not that guy who's walking around with like, a stonewashed jean jacket with Megadeth on the back. And I'm just like, all I listen to is Megadeth and Iron Maiden. I was like, I like different styles of stuff. And I think that was something that it really encompassed our generation, which
Yeah.
I think birthed new metal, and I think
100%.
that the family values was a good, solid representation of that. So,
I agree. And, I think being growing up in the 90s, those things were hard to escape.
yeah,
The gangster rap was absolutely massive in the 90s, as was new metal. And new metal was
huge,
taking pieces from, hip hop and, was part of the thing. So it was easy to like both. And I
right?
think that's why there was some mass appeal there. But yeah, this sampler, I think it did a lot for a number of these bands. And, they, they came out with a message inside. So it came, for those who don't know what we're talking about, this was a CD sampler that came shrink wrapped to Follow the Leader on 100,000 copies of Follow the Leader.
Yeah,
And so it was kind of like a 2-for-1 kind of thing.
right.
I just remember everybody geeking out about it, including me.
Yes,
Like I bought a second copy
that's
because it had the
awesome.
sampler on it.
Yeah,
So I had two guys like, I don't care. I just wanted the sampler. So I guess I technically paid for the sampler,
sure.
which I wasn't mad about
Right.
because I mean, it has Limp Bizkit, it has Orgy, it has Seven Dust, it has Head PE, it has Incubus, Static X, the one and only everybody's favorite Kid Rock was on it, believe it or not. He technically was considered new metal on that first record on Devil
He
Without a Cause.
was. Yep.
And that's probably a whole nother episode that would actually probably be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
To talk about Kid Rock. But um, I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, that sampler, I think that did a lot for some of these bands when you think
Absolutely.
about it. And it's like I went back and I kind of looked through it. Um, and anyways, back to that message quick. So there was a message on the inside, and I think it was printed directly on. And I don't have the sleeve that it came in anymore because I put it in like a CD book.
Yeah.
And I think it was printed directly on the sleeve, but it said, please accept this free CD as a gift from us. We feel every band featured is worth checking out. It seems like some of the best bands out there don't get much radio or video exposure, and new bands hardly ever do. Korn. And I was like, well, that's cool. And it really reminded me of kind of, prior conversations we've had about the Slipknot guys kind of coming back and,
Yeah.
trying to help folks. And, but I was like, man, what did this sampler do for these bands? You know what I
Oh
mean?
man.
And so I started kind of running some numbers and some timelines because, I kind of hyper
Nice.
nerded
I was
out
gonna
about it,
say, yeah,
and, there was a couple of bands that it did an awful lot for.
I bet.
Um, obviously Limp Bizkit. I
Yeah,
think that they already had a bit of a buzz anyway.
sure. It was gonna
Um,
happen.
but this came out. So this Follow the Leader came out mid-August of 98. And Limp released Significant Other in June of 99. And it went platinum less than a month later. So, I mean, this certainly did something for, I think it kind of pushed him over the edge.
Yeah.
Um, any idea how many times total that record's gone platinum?
Oh, man, I have no idea. It's got to be a bunch. What, 3? 10?
16.
Holy smokes!
Mm-hmm. But
Goodness.
yeah, it's like, oh, wow, okay. But I think Limp Bizkit was probably the anomaly there. But
Yeah.
um, Orgy went platinum
Yeah.
twice.
Did they
And
really?
nobody
Okay.
ever heard of him before this. And then Korn
Right.
signed him to, remember Korn's label,
Yeah.
Elementary?
Yep. Yep.
They signed him to that and sold 2 million copies.
Yeah.
Nobody had ever
Yeah.
heard of Orgy before this
No.
sampler.
Well, exactly. And then, yeah, and again, we'll have to do an episode on Orgy, but they were and this is the thing. They are great and they're great live too. And
Mm-hmm.
they're I don't remember how many albums they put out, but did they do just one?
No, with that lineup, there
Yeah.
was, I believe, 2 or 3 records.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
But obviously their first one though, I mean, that was the one that
Right.
had was it Spin Me Round? Is that what it was?
Blue Monday.
Blue Monday. There you go.
Blue Monday.
I was like, that's
You're
not
thinking
right.
of Dope.
I'm thinking of Dope. No, no, no,
Dope
no.
did
I
that
was
song.
definitely
Yeah.
thinking of Orgy. I just had the wrong song. But
You're
yeah,
right.
so when they had yeah, Blue Monday, which was
Yeah.
amazing.
It's a
And
great
but
cover.
yes. And again,
Rendition.
rendition. There you go. There you go.
I'm getting there with
Yeah.
that.
But theirs was again, I would kind of lean more towards the cover. I mean, they didn't really add a lot of orgy flavor to ooh, that sounds gross. Orgy flavor.
What kind of podcast is this?
But they didn't really add their flavor to it. I mean, a little bit. I mean, it definitely is different from from the original, but it was
Yep.
more just crisp, a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more well produced, a little bit heavier,
Yeah.
more crunch to it, but it follows the same format and everything to
Yeah.
say the least. But
It's good in the album sequence too.
yeah, absolutely. But I was gonna say is that I almost wonder if again, I think that I think minus that song, Orgy wouldn't have been who they were. I
Oh,
mean,
not
they're one of those bands where you definitely didn't hear them on the radio,
right.
and when you did, it was that song. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and you certainly heard it, and it was a lot. And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think they deserve to be recognized, though, and I think that, and that's what I've heard a bunch. I've never met those guys, but I've heard a bunch that they are really cool guys, and everybody
Yeah, I've
loved
never met
them.
him.
Yeah,
I've
and
never met
so
him either.
yeah, so I heard like especially Korn and those guys, they really, really, wanted to help them out, and clearly they did, and they deserved it, because they're a great
Mm.
band, man. They're good, good live, so
Yeah.
but
And I think when that band kind of started, if memory serves, a couple of them were record producers.
yeah,
One of them played in Jonathan Davis's band prior, so there was a lot of
Yeah.
connection to Korn there anyway,
right.
which was unsurprising to me. But the double platinum was surprising to me.
Yeah, but again, like I said, it's surprising, but again, I really remember that Blue Monday song just being huge.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere, and it's a good song. I still turn it every once in a while because it's so good.
You heard it all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And so, but yeah, so Static X, Wisconsin Death Trip went platinum.
yeah,
It totally helped that. Incubus was on there, and I believe the song was off Science, but Make Yourself came out not too long after the
Sure.
sampler was released. It clearly had an impact. So I think kind of the point that I'm trying to tease out here is, this did a lot for a lot of bands. Now, and actually it did so much that other people started doing it. And by that,
sure.
I mean tour promoters, management companies, and I actually went through my CDs and found a bunch of them.
Okay.
So like Ozfest did one in 2002.
Nice.
Don't remember who's on it because I don't have the sleeve.
Yeah.
The Tattoo the Earth Festival did one.
Oh, I remember that. Heck yeah. I don't remember the sampler, but I remember Tattoo the Earth. That was awesome.
I'm pretty sure Full Devil Jacket was on this one.
Okay, cool.
But management companies were doing it. Like
sure.
No Name did it.
Oh yeah, nice.
And No Name was a management company. This was Moto Grader and Hatebreed and Sworn Enemy for those who remember.
Oh wow.
Them. Yeah. But you'll get a kick out of this. We even did it.
Yes.
We were on one.
Yeah.
And I'll put up better pictures of these. But it was just kind of the way it was done, I suppose.
Right.
You're trying to kind of piggyback on somebody else's name.
Right.
In a good way. But it works.
Absolutely.
It worked.
Yeah.
So kind of what, my brain started to kind of go into overdrive, and I'm like, what's the modern day equivalent to this thing? Or is there one?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And
yeah, because like I was gonna say the analogy for me is and it's probably this is why what I felt like when you got the Follow the Leader CD with the sampler is like I felt like I was
Mm,
getting my favorite cereal and getting a toy with it too.
it's exactly it.
It
It's
was like
exactly
that's a
it.
great idea, you know. So, but yeah, I
It's,
don't think anybody. I mean, how do you do that digitally now? You know?
I mean, as sad and as unfortunate
Yeah.
it is, it's got to be playlists. It's got to be your
Oh
shareable
yeah.
playlists, but it also kind of because they're being utilized in the same way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For
They're being
sure.
used to promote a tour. Like there was a Louder Than Life 2025 playlist out there.
Oh sure.
Um, labels use them. I mean, Spotify is littered with playlists, and everybody is screaming for them
Sure.
because it ups your numbers
Right.
and it gets you in front of people.
Right. Yeah.
So I think the intention is the same, but for somebody like me, it doesn't do a whole lot, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and it was weird because when I was thinking about this episode and trying to kind of organize my thoughts about it and do some research, um, I was kind of surfing Facebook one night and and I'll be honest, I only recently got back on Facebook. I was off Facebook for about 10 plus years, I think. Um, and I picked a really odd time to get back on, but um, I was just kind of nosing around.
Yeah.
It's a really different place than it
Yeah.
used to be.
I was gonna say from 10 years ago, it's gotta be way
Yeah.
different. Man, welcome
Yeah.
to a time machine. That's gotta be
Dude. Yeah. Like there was pictures, on my profile that I hadn't seen in 10 years or even thought
sure.
about for that matter. Um, but definitely a time warp. But was kind of surfing through and one of my old friends had made a post about mixtapes
Oh,
and
sure.
like how we share new music with people.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, and I commented, I don't remember what I said, but it was kind of like, playlists are kind of the thing, and that's kind of lame, right?
Right.
It's like the intent is there, sorta, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But there's something about having like a physical thing that somebody made for you and it's
Right.
personal. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
And you can do that with the songs you choose, I guess, on a playlist, but it just kind of, I don't know, there was something more to it, right? And so I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, playlists really aren't the same, you know?
No.
And I don't know, and this will certainly age me, but do you remember the movie High Fidelity with John Cusack?
Mm, I don't think so.
You should check that one out. I think it was
Okay.
late 90s.
Okay.
He's like a record store owner and he's obsessed with mixtapes.
Okay.
And he goes through like it's based on a book, I think, of the same name. And they did do a kind of a reboot with what's Lenny Kravitz's kid's name? Um, Zoe, Zoe Kravitz. It was like a series, same kind of deal though. It was fun, but it wasn't the same. Anyway,
Sure.
um, and he kind of goes through like the steps to make a good mixtape and like what you have to do and
Oh, nice.
and you can't it's a good watch even if you only YouTube that part of the movie. It's kind of fun, but and I went back and watched it after kind of goofing off on Facebook and I was like, yeah, that's at least for me that's kind of a lost art. Like
Right.
just don't really do that anymore.
Sure.
And when you had to sit down and do it on a physical format, like that took time. And I think
Right.
that's what people appreciated about it,
Yep.
versus just kind of saying, okay, add to playlist, add to playlist, add to playlist, done, send, you know, like, did you really
Right.
put any thought into it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's so easy, just to create a playlist now.
Mm-hmm.
Unless if you create a 3 hour long playlist like you did yourself
Well,
of nothing but like
and I'm
B-sides
glad you
hits.
said that
Yeah.
because that's exactly how the conversation on Facebook got started.
Yeah.
Because I said, "Oh, hey, um, check out the We Were Loved Ones playlist on Spotify. Here's a
Yeah.
link." Or
Yeah.
no, I said, "Go to the story to figure it out." And then that kind of spurred the whole conversation about, does a playlist really give off the same vibe?
Right.
The same feeling, And I know we're getting off on a whole
No,
separate
but
thing, but I think it's worth talking about because I think a lot of that kind of coming back to the sampler thing, um, it really translates. I think
yeah.
people liked having the physical thing in their hand. You know what I
Right.
mean? It meant more, I think.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna say, like, I at first wholeheartedly agree with you, but I also think there's another element to it too. Like, say, like with the samplers, because like you're not, I mean, sometimes you could buy the samplers or whatever, but like, say for example, the one that comes with Follow the Leader,
Mm,
there's something about getting something for free where you're like, okay, you know,
totally.
there's a difference between getting a flyer on your windshield or getting a CD of like something that's like tangible. It's like, okay, I'm gonna definitely check this out because it came for free and it's kind of fun. So, having that opportunity of, getting something free like that, you're gonna definitely spin it and see like, well,
Yeah.
I got this for free. I might as well give it a shot.
And it's
So,
that perception of value too. It's like,
right,
um, I feel like I'm getting more for my money. It's
right,
like, okay, I'm going to
right,
buy this record, but I'm also going to get all of this for free. I don't care if it's terrible.
right.
I don't
Yep,
have to listen to it again, but it
correct.
wasn't because
Right.
I may have glazed over the fact that 99% of it is really good,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And I think there's something a little bit more ritualistic about it too.
sure.
It's like
Yeah.
you have the sampler. It's like, okay, you know, I'm going to go sit down or I'm going to go and take a drive and listen to this whole thing and see if it's worth it
Right.
kind of thing. And it becomes like a ritual or an experience. But I think nowadays, we've kind of, that's not really part of the equation anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, let me listen to this new Mudvayne song quick, to see if I like it or not, kind of a thing.
Right.
Um, but
Yeah, that's kind
I,
of, and
I pulled
it's
that out of thin air, but
right. But no, 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 no. You're right though. I mean, and it's kind of sad. And that's the thing. It's like we've talked about this about a little bit before too, but I don't like the, dropping a single here and there. Like
right.
obviously because the thing, the way that it was always done before was you drop a single, maybe two, to kind of get some hype about a new album coming, and so I kind of feel like in a sense, if you're just dropping single after single like every few months, it's almost like you're getting blue balls, in a sense, where it's just like, but I want the album. I want to rip through the entire thing. I want to do this, experience this whole piece, not just 3 or 4 minutes of this, and there's still obviously Deftones, and some other bands who are still
Mhm.
putting out full albums. And I just, again, I don't want to sound like the old man or whatever, but I feel like that's the way it needs to go. I mean, I think that people really like to ingest that, and I understand. I'm just going to say I think the market's wrong, and I wholeheartedly believe that people like to ingest movies. They're 2 hours long. They don't give me a when a season comes out on Netflix or something like that, and it's 9 episodes, it's like don't spread it out over a week per episode. I want to see them all together and binge watch it. And I think that's what people like to do. I think they like to binge through their media. And I just think that it's turned into this thing where bands are like, well, we're gonna drop it one at a time because that's what, you know, it's keeping interest on this, and I don't know, it's weird. I just think that the market's a little off and it's wrong, and I hope it comes back.
It's, you know, currently being in the middle of a promotional campaign doing just that very thing.
Hmm.
I certainly um, am up to speed on that part of the business current day.
Right.
And it was elected to go down that road
Yeah.
to keep momentum
Yeah.
because you need momentum. So Spotify, you have to think of Spotify as a social media platform because it absolutely is.
Sure.
And in order to get in front of more people, you have to keep this. It's just like Facebook or Instagram. The more momentum you have, the more people you're going to be in front of, and
Right.
the more you keep doing that, it just kind of feeds the machine. The artist in me hates it. The
Right.
artist in me hates streaming, period. And
Sure.
it's become kind of a necessary evil, unfortunately. People are starting to do the single drop, if they're going to do, say, 3 to 4 singles, they'll do a couple, two, three promotion of the record, and then
Oh,
they'll do
sure.
one after the release. But then they're kind of done, right? Then the
Right.
record's out and it's done, and they have nothing else to promote except the record, kind of proper, right? So it's kind of a, what do you do? You
Right.
know, do you continue the momentum? And as a young band or a relatively unknown band, you can't afford not to do that.
Yeah.
um, if you have major label money behind you,
Mm,
sure, because then you have a social media budget, and you can pay for that
sure.
momentum.
That makes sense.
But it's but I agree with you. I don't care for it that way.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe it's a
you know,
generational thing, I mean,
we're old, man.
I know. God dang it.
It totally is a
What the
generational
hell
thing.
happened? No, it's got to be, but again, I want to talk to my boys on this. I got three
Yeah.
teenage, well,
Yeah, talk to my
not
lawyer.
teenage, I guess my oldest is in his 20s now, but yeah, I mean, they're obviously that Gen Z generation. I want to see how they like to ingest their media as well,
Mhm.
because I don't know. It just feels weird, and I don't want to be like that. But 8-track is where it was, or records. It just sounds so full, It's like I get all that,
Yeah.
but I
Vinyl's
love.
warmer.
Yeah, it sounds warmer. Yeah, exactly. We've heard it all, and so,
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. It just maybe I'm being you know, a little narcissistic when it comes to I like it my way, but I don't know. But
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
that's the entertainment industry, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like you want to be entertained in a certain
yeah,
way, and you're going to gravitate to media that's going to do that. And I totally get it, because I agree with you. I absolutely hate it when I have to wait another week for a show. I don't know how we did it
yeah,
20 years ago.
yeah.
I really don't. I don't know how we stood it. I mean, Netflix ruined us.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it
You
did.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thankfully, they're still doing the binge thing. They're
Yes.
releasing full seasons or like half seasons of things,
Yeah.
so you have something to binge. But there's other streaming platforms that aren't doing it that way, and it's like, tune in on Tuesday night, and
Yeah.
don't you dare do that to
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know?
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I understand if it comes out on like so like The Walking Dead or something like that, comes out on AMC, which is,
Yeah.
cable and all that other stuff, but if it's a streaming show only, like what are you doing? Please don't do that. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like you got the advantage, but to an extent, I mean, like, again, I get it. It keeps people talking about it, and it's like, okay,
Mm,
did you see what's coming?
yeah.
Oh, we watched this. It was so great. I can't wait for next week, Whereas, it's kind of when you put out a 12 episode season all at once and stuff, it's a huge budget, just bam, right at
Mm,
up
yeah.
front, but then it kind of probably tapers off,
Mm,
and so I see both ways, and maybe it's just a
yeah.
preference of mine, but again, I really want to, and Gen Z people, if you're listening and stuff, please comment, because I want to hear everybody, I mean, I don't care what generation you are, comment, and
Yeah.
let us know what you think and stuff, because we're obviously on the same page. We like that full album experience, but I
Yeah.
find it weird to be like, hey, there's a new whatever Terminator movie coming out. Sweet. Okay, we're gonna chop it up and you're gonna get 10 minutes of it every
Yeah.
3 months. It's all right, I
Yeah.
guess. It just seems weird to me. Like let's just get this whole thing. So you've made mention, obviously, before. So your current band, Narcotic Self,
Mm,
which is fantastic, by the way.
thank you.
And so you're saying that you guys have, and obviously not you're saying, I've seen it. You've been putting out, songs here and there, as time progresses and stuff. So are you saying you guys would never be up for creating a full album again, or are you currently
No,
working on an album? Like, how does that work? Do you put together, a package, or how do I say it? You write 10 songs, and then when they're all done, after you've put them out, then you wrap it up all together as an album, or because obviously you're not putting out physical media.
Well, that's the end game. So
Okay.
it's pretty much exactly what you just said. Like, we
Okay.
elected to kind of release one song, I think every month and a half.
Sure.
I think 6 to 8 weeks, I think, was the kind of the
Okay.
recommended time frame. And then at the end of it, kind of do a CD and some vinyls where there's an actual album sequence. Um, because we're still fans of physical media. We
Sure.
want something to be able to sell other people, and so it's very much going to get wrapped up. And I would be lying if I didn't say that there might be a tinge of regret in doing it that way.
Mm,
Um, it has allowed, so you really do have to have, and this is what is really kind of infuriating about the music business these days. Because back in the early 2000s, it was very simple. It was,
sure.
does somebody, um, like what Brock was saying last week, it's as simple as Sean liking your band.
Yeah.
It's as simple as Clown liking your band, right?
Right.
Now it's, you are essentially judged by your online and digital presence.
Mm,
And that not only goes for record labels, that goes with other ancillary deals, manufacturer endorsement deals, media
yeah.
placement, all of that kind of stuff. They want to know what your presence is like. What is your
Okay.
reach?
I guess that makes
And
sense. So if you're getting an endorsement deal from
mhm,
PV or something like that, they want to
right,
make sure that you're relevant
mhm,
constantly. So because
right,
you're advertising their brand constantly.
hmm, yep.
Interesting.
So, and that's kind of what it's become,
Well, that would make
and
sense. And again, not to interrupt you, but that would make sense because that's my
yeah,
my thing is like, okay, so obviously, if you're not selling CDs and you're not selling, records and tapes and stuff like that anymore,
yeah,
and you're just getting downloads and everything, how do you make your money? So you get your money off of, touring and merch and then
sure,
obviously endorsement deals. And
right.
so
Well,
whereas I would
anymore,
say endorsement deals maybe 20 years ago was a big deal, but it wasn't maybe, I don't know, you tell me, but is it as
yeah.
big of a deal today as it was 20 years ago, or is it more?
It's, I think that's probably a whole episode on its own.
Sure. Okay.
Um, but endorsement deals are very different these days, I think. It's not necessarily a revenue stream per se.
Oh, okay.
It's more of a
You get free,
discount.
oh, discount or
Mhm.
yeah, I was
Not
gonna
even
say,
free, at
yeah,
least in my orbit.
sure.
It's more of a discount than
Yeah.
anything for free, which is fine. I play what I play, and you know
Yeah.
I don't need any freebies, but
Yeah.
they're always nice.
Sure.
It's
Absolutely.
yeah, it's the way musicians make money with those revenue streams look like are very different than they were.
Right.
Um, and but it is what it is, and the industry evolved, and I think the inflection point really was streaming services,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's unfortunate or what, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because that's again this. Well, let's just talk about it. I was gonna say that's another episode on its own too. But I kind of feel like obviously our generation, whether how you would call it, we created it or not or whatever. But Napster, LimeWire, all those things
oh God,
streaming
LimeWire
illegally. We
ruined a
kind of
computer or two.
exactly, but we kind of created that, and then it was like, okay, MP3s are everything everywhere. We love it. We love how accessible it is. I don't have to carry
Mm,
around this freaking 400-pound CD case anymore in my car. Nobody's busting out my windows anymore to steal my MP3s. You know what I mean? So it's just, it kind of stopped a lot of that stuff, which has been great, but we also kind of created another monster, where it's like
yeah,
we almost kind of killed what was fun. And it's too
yeah,
bad.
yeah. And I know I've mentioned this in prior conversations too, but it's, were art and commerce ever supposed to be kind of mashed up like this in the first
Right.
place? I think there's a lot of people involved that don't need to be.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking to make money, and it's, but it is a business, you
Yeah.
know. But I think at the end of the day, um, the more you can put something in somebody's hand, the better. Um, in terms of a physical format.
Right.
Uh, which is why, still pressing CDs and considering vinyl even. And I know vinyl is going to be a generational thing, and I know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to getting like a big vinyl of a record that I'm on. Like,
Right.
it's like this is how stupid I am. I would buy vinyl. I don't even have a turntable, and I
Right.
bought vinyl.
Isn't that crazy?
It's more of
But
like a collector
but
thing,
yeah, it is, and
you know?
it's yeah, and I know a few people, some good friends of mine that they have a lot of records and they have a record player, but they, I don't think they necessarily listen to it. I think it's more about the collection.
Yeah. And actually, now that I'm talking about it, do you want to see the last record I bought on
Sure,
vinyl? Okay,
sure.
hold on. It was right here, so I couldn't resist not showing it.
Okay.
So this is the last one I bought on vinyl. Don't have a turntable. Um, Fun fact: I did audition for the band at one point. Um, I don't even know if I can show this. Um, Steel Panther,
Oh, nice.
Balls
Yeah.
Out. It was too fun not to buy. Like,
Yeah.
who doesn't want this photo? You know what I mean? Um, but it's like ridiculous. But it's like I don't have a turntable. Why did I buy that?
Right.
I bought it to show on a podcast.
Yeah. There you go.
Um,
Heck yeah.
but I think, kind of even going back to the merch thing, it's like I don't throw anything away.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm clearly a
A
collector
collector.
of
Yep.
things.
Yeah.
And, I think that there's a lot of people out there who are the same way. And
Right.
those are the people that are going to prefer some kind of physical format
Sure.
over
Yeah.
just a digital thing. And I think it, not to get too philosophical, I guess, it deepens your connection with the music,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep. Yep. For sure.
Not to say that I have a super deep connection to Supersonic Sex Machine, but, you know, uh,
At
but,
least
I
that
think,
one. Anyways.
yeah. I mean, actually, one of my favorite Steel Panther songs is on this record, but um, they are so fun live if you've never seen them. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I think kind of to close the loop on the sampler thing, I think, again, it's a physical format. You have it
Right.
in, you can hold it. It's like, this is mine,
Right.
because at the end of the day, Spotify can go away.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
Was all
Exactly.
their music. And you're
Yeah.
starting to see a lot of artists nowadays removing their discography from Spotify.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just heard of another one, and I do not remember. I believe they were an indie band, but it was a big deal in the music press, and I'm killing myself. I don't
Well, because
remember who it was, but
I remember it was a big deal that Tool wasn't on there forever, and then they finally eventually like gave in and did
they
it.
got pressured into it.
Yeah,
They
got
didn't want
pressured
to.
into it. Yeah. But that's a good point though, man, about like if you just I mean, seriously, if you think about it, what if all these artists and stuff just were like, I'm done, I want my stuff off, Like it would kill that company.
Yeah. So, well, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite record of all time?
Well,
If you
probably
had to pick one,
I was
Desert
gonna
Island.
like if I was on an island, I would probably pick The Feeding by Head Charge.
Okay.
And it's not on
How many
Spotify.
times? How many times have you had to rebuy
Oh yeah.
that album?
At least 3.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like okay, what happens
Good
when
point. I know exactly where
Spotify
you're
goes
going.
away? I'm gonna have to buy it again. You know what I
buy it
mean?
again.
But
Yep.
like if I have the CD already,
Yep.
I mean, look at Head Charge is a great example actually because
Yeah.
the War of Art is not on Spotify,
Right. Yeah.
so
Or
you have to go to
neither is The
YouTube
Feeding.
or
Yeah.
the feeding isn't either.
Yep.
So I mean, if it goes away, then what?
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have to buy it all again. So the 5 million songs that you saved on your Spotify, you no
Yeah.
longer have access to. You are essentially renting them.
Imagine that though for a second.
You know,
Imagine if something happened where Spotify just blew up.
right?
Like remember what was that 21, 22, where Facebook died for like 9 hours?
Yeah.
People
People were
were
losing their
losing.
minds.
It was absolute like, is this what Mad Max is like? It's just I'm out in the desert just walking around trying to find fuel and food. I'm just killing people I need to get on Facebook, Gosh, it was freaking pandemonium when that went down. And I loved it. I loved every second. I was like, good. I was like, I hate this stupid addictive bull crap, but here we were.
Yeah.
Man, that's a trip.
Yeah. And it's something that I've thought about because, I cry every time I get my monthly statement from them.
Yeah.
In terms of what the streaming payouts are. And and I've probably made the joke a billion times, but it's like I've
Yeah.
never seen so many zeros on the wrong side of a decimal point
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. That's
And
crazy.
it's it's almost heartbreaking as an artist too, because
Yeah.
you put something out into the ethos and you're being told it's worth two
Right.
millionths of a cent
Yeah. That's
per
crazy.
stream. And I'm
Yeah. That's
like,
crazy.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating, of course, but it's a lot of zeros.
Yeah.
Um, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, what if Spotify was gone? I mean,
Man.
it's a digital company. I don't know how secure servers are, things like that. I don't know anything about that stuff, but it's like, what happens if they get hacked or ransomware or
Well,
whatever? You know
let
what I
me
mean?
regale you a tale. This is my area here.
I was gonna say,
No, I obviously it would be very, very difficult,
sure.
because obviously they're all basically a data center. So their physical media is just servers, and I would
Mm,
imagine that they're replicated at least 3 times. And so they probably have a data
sure.
center in say like San Antonio and another one in Chicago or something like that. They're going to put them in different areas and stuff. So if one goes down, it automatically backs up to the other one. And
Right.
they might have already done that multiple times. We don't know it, because it's just kind of
Hmm.
flawless and stuff. But it would have to be, it would have to be like an entire organization, that goes down, like not just even a server or server set that goes down or whatever like that. It would have to be like somebody sued Spotify or something and just
Mm,
took it down,
yeah.
That's what was so crazy about the Facebook thing when it went down, because they have data farms everywhere and obviously they're huge, but so it was really interesting that they got taken down. And then obviously again too with that, I guarantee you all these big companies, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, they're
Mm,
getting, I mean, I bet you there's probably, thousands of attackers on them all day long, and so their
oh,
cyber
I'm
defense has
sure.
just got to be insane. I know at my company what we pay for cyber defense, and it is sickening.
I'm
And
sure.
I can only imagine what
Yeah.
like $1 trillion company has to be, you know. Gosh,
Hmm.
that'd be crazy. But hey, real
So
quick, I'm gonna
yeah,
I'm gonna we're gonna pause, folks, just for a quick second, and we'll jump right back in just a second.
yeah,
All right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that interruption. All right, so we're in some cool discussions, hypotheticals, Spotify going down, blah blah blah. So you said that you
yeah,
had something else
yeah. I had
with
another
that. So
hypothetical for you.
okay,
Not to get too deep into current events. What would happen? So again, kind of dovetailing that scenario, where if Spotify was to go down or disappear or whatever,
sure.
what if it gets banned in the U.S.?
Oh man,
Kind of like a TikTok scenario. I know that they may have figured it out, but just hypothetically,
yeah.
again, you lose
Well,
access to your music. You know what I
there's
mean?
yeah, yep.
I mean,
Well,
that's
I
a
know a
little bit
way.
alarmist, but
Yeah, I was gonna say I know a way to get past that with like VPNs. Um,
oh, do
but
tell.
yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
just again, hypothetically, if I mean, dude, this is like let's go completely nihilist here. It's
Yeah.
like, we take so much stuff for granted.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, next month it's gonna be we're gonna have better AI, and next month we're gonna have, dehydrated something that you can stick into this and it makes something. And it's like our advancement of technology is just incredible. But what if everything went away, and there was like a Mad Max kind of a thing or whatever, and it's like, not to get all doom and gloom, folks,
Yeah. Right.
but it
Hey,
would
there's
be it would
album
be
upon
crazy.
album
Just
on the
right. I mean,
subject.
we're just in an era right now where we just, I mean, it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable,
Mm.
and I think of, for example, my son's looking for his first car, and so we went out and test drove a car today, and it's a 2005 Toyota, or no, sorry, not Toyota, Honda, and
Mm.
CRV, and it's really good condition for its age. But we drove it, and I was like, man, 20 years ago, this was the creme de la creme. It was like full leather, moonroof, all this other stuff. But I was like, Granted, Hondas aren't known for being luxury vehicles or whatever, but this was a
Right.
stamp in time of what was going on 20 years ago.
Mm.
And then I think back, I have an 88 Fox Body Mustang, and same thing. I mean, barely any technology in that car whatsoever. And it was a big deal to like swap out the stereo and put in your own stereo. And then
Mm.
people are stealing stereos. So then you get one that's got you could pull the stereo out with you and go walking into grandma's house so it doesn't get stolen. Or then then there's like, well, geez, I don't want to carry around an 8-pound stereo everywhere I go.
The
So then they have the
detachable face.
detachable faces. Exactly. Then they turned into faces that flipped around and went backwards
Mm.
and just all sorts of stuff,
Take the whole unit.
just take
Yeah.
the whole unit out. Exactly. And
Mm.
so, but nowadays it's like, I remember telling my kids about this because actually my Fox Body has a detachable face CD player, and
My
they're like,
God.
and I'm like, watch this. And I like hit
Wow.
this button and it pops off, and they're like, what? Oh my gosh, that's insane. And it's like,
Yeah.
like, why would you do that? I'm like, oh, people were stealing stuff all the time, and
Yeah.
stereos were a part of it, because they were expensive. And
Mm.
but either way, like coming back to what we are saying, just imagine if we didn't have the technology that we did today, just gone. Something
Yeah.
happened where, I don't want to blame any other countries or whatever, but say some country off, shore or whatever throws some sort of magnetic nuke, where it doesn't kill anybody, but it destroys our
Hmm.
entire data system, like
Yeah.
holy smokes, you know, I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
everything runs off of it.
yeah. And I mean, and there's things that can be said for physical media too. It's like, well, what happens if somebody just steals your CD book? Because that's happened to
Right.
me before,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and
Yep.
it's,
Me too.
it's gut wrenching, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I
but I think,
circumvented that back in the day though, not to not to interrupt you. And
I
I
mean,
felt like crap about it because a lot of people questioned me, but I had my CD book stolen one time and I lost a bunch. I mean, I don't remember how many, probably 200 CDs.
yeah.
And then so I slowly started going out. And I didn't have a lot of money. And so I slowly started going out and buying more CDs. But then I was like, I'm gonna like rip these and create, what do you call them, burn discs. And so that's what I
Yeah.
did. So then I had a big old
Mhm.
big old fat CD book, but they were all like, go ahead and steal this, I don't care.
Right.
Besides
Yeah.
you're busting my stereo out or whatever, or my window out. But either way, I got a lot of crap about that. Like, why do you have all these burned discs? I'm like, I bought them, these are copies, because I'm tired of freaking losing my stuff by people
Hmm.
stealing it or whatever, and then I have to, or I scratch it or whatever, and then it's like, ugh, I
Yeah.
got to buy it all over again and stuff. But
Yeah. That's the other thing
it's
too, is, these things, they get scratched up and beat up and
yep.
all sorts of things. I don't know if you can really see any of it, but these things are,
That was the worst, man. You're
hmm
like, oh,
some of the song skips and,
correct. And you like, or like, that's like the worst feeling in the world. You're like, where did that CD go? And you're like, wait a minute. I was driving real late a couple weeks ago. I just pulled it out. It was dark and I didn't want to put it in my CD book. And I just threw it in the back seat real quick. Oh no, it's still in the back seat. And you look back, there's a whole bunch of crap on top of it. Like, no, you like pull it up, like, it's all just scratched the hell. And you're
hmm
just like, I
hmm
ruined it. Like, what was I doing? But yeah,
Do you
again,
remember, do you remember any of the ways that, like, if you had a scratch CD, there was like a bunch of like urban legends about how you could fix it?
yeah, I heard a bunch of stuff. There was like, he put WD-40 and freaking
Hmm.
rub that in, and,
Hmm.
you know,
There was
lotion or
the,
something, or,
um, oh, there was something with wax. I don't remember
yeah,
if it was like if you take
probably.
a unlit candle and you kind of rub it on the back, then it would play through
Oh,
something like
really?
that. That might be making that up. I
And I
don't
don't
really
think
know,
any of
but
them ever worked.
I don't think they did either. But you know, to kind of close the loop on that, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that if I was, how do I want to say this? If somebody approached me with a CD sampler full of a bunch of bands that I may know, or I know a couple of them, right?
Hmm.
I'm probably going to think that's the coolest thing in the world.
Agree.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Um, Again, probably dates us, but it's physical. There's an intrinsic value there. I'm going to go in my car and listen to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
20 years ago, I'd smoke a couple cigarettes and, that whole
Yeah.
thing. Um,
Well,
but I do think it's more
yeah,
personal.
It is, and it's intentional. You like, okay,
Hmm.
because time. I think about this all the time. Time is everything. Like you hear all the time, time is relative, blah blah blah, back in the day and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, especially when you become an adult and you're very busy and you got jobs and you got hobbies and you got family time and everything. Time is everything, and so it's like if somebody gives you something intentionally, you're gonna intentionally go to listen to it or intentionally throw it
Hmm.
away and never listen to it. And
Right.
you know, again, that's something that a playlist just isn't going to do anything, because it's
Right.
so easy to be out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
And however, check out the We Were Loud Ones podcast playlist because
Yeah.
it's
Please
awesome.
do go save that on
Yep.
Spotify.
And get
If you
and
wouldn't mind.
yeah, and we're plugging that for you guys, not for us, because we don't
Yeah.
make a penny off of it.
Yeah.
It's just it's a fun playlist because again, it's like a B-sides,
Yeah.
anthem. It's kind
And
of cool.
I keep adding to it
Yep.
every other day. Who did I just add to it? Um, Especially as I come into bands, it's like, oh, forgot about them, forgot about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I just added
You've been
somebody.
putting some good ones on as of late, some deep cuts ones too.
Yeah,
You had like Pressure 4 or 5 the other day. I was like, oh,
I have not gotten that song out of my head. I woke up like, so we had some pretty gnarly storms come through here last night.
yeah.
I woke up at about 2 in the morning with that song in my head,
Are you
like the
serious?
world. Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so here's a fun story.
Okay.
And if he's listening, was not trying to be a creep. So the singer for that band, um, he become some kind of, I think he's like in education administration, like a principal or something.
Oh, cool.
And I
Good for
found him on
him.
LinkedIn.
Oh, sweet.
So I connected with him. I don't know if he
Nice.
accepted it or not, but I was like, click. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Been jamming your song for a while now. But I looked through his like professional experience, and sure enough, first one, Pressure 4 or 5 and
Isn't that
Interscope
cool?
recording artist. I'm like, good for you, man. Lean into
That's
that,
heck
you
yeah.
know. So
That's
anyway,
cool. Good for him,
yeah.
man.
So if
That
you,
is cool that he's
yeah,
still acknowledging it
yeah,
and
you are listening, not trying to be a creep.
no,
Um,
and
the
contact us. We'd like to talk to you
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you guys rocked back in the day.
Yeah. There was a couple. Do you remember Apartment 26?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Apartment 26, man. Holy
Hmm.
smokes, they were so talented. And
Yep.
gosh, okay. Here we go. I wish I could remember all the names of the guys in that band and stuff, so I apologize. But gosh, they were so good. But I remember I'm pretty certain we played with them at Test Fest and in 2000. And I remember the singer did a stage dive and into the crowd, and he was crowd surfing for a good solid, I think, an entire song. And I remember he was just holding that microphone so freaking tight because people are trying to
Mm.
grab it and trying to,
Yeah. Yeah.
rip it out of his hands and stuff. But I tell you what, though, he wasn't just a sloppy, vocalist or whatever. I mean, he
Mm.
had a great amount of talent, with singing and screaming and everything. And he did it, man. He was keeping on pitch and everything while surfing, and people trying to rip stuff out of. I would be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was just like he was on it. And man, love that band. Whew, they're
Yeah.
good.
I I hate to say it, but I completely forgot about them and it popped up. Like, truth be told, and I don't, just listen to my own,
Right.
playlist all day long. But
Sure.
I'll be honest, like I've listened to this one a lot. And I had like the smart search turned on.
Oh, cool.
So that
Nice.
song popped up and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't put that on there. Like, oh
Nice.
my God. So I was in the car. I pulled the car over and I like quick added it
Add.
to the thing. And that
Nice.
happened with Relative Ash too. Remember them?
Ooh,
Remember the
yes.
song Bounce?
Yes.
That was a
Yes.
tremendous song.
Heck
And
yeah,
then
dude.
of course I had to add some Dirt Fed after our
Yeah.
conversation with Brock
Yeah.
last week. So
Yeah. Mad props to Dirtfed Boys.
yeah. And I did listen to that song more than a couple times too.
Yeah.
So
And did you put
yeah.
Salute on there or what did you?
Salute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said,
So
I think I brought that up on our episode with Brock is, when we started talking with him again, I was like, man, I could go back and spin that album again. And
mhm.
it's just it's
Mhm.
so solid, and like,
Yeah.
gosh, and it's so cool, that they came from Nebraska and we got to play with them before they made it big and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was awesome. But yeah, good playlist, and
Yeah.
man, this has been an interesting episode to say the least. And
We went down a couple avenues I didn't see us going down,
that's right.
um, but yeah, it's I think it really is kind of you know,
Yeah,
I personally would like to see the art of kind of that mixtape come back around,
agreed.
but not necessarily in a way that is like, here are my favorite songs.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
like, and maybe this just doesn't happen with me all that much, but it's like, if I was going to share, say, 10 songs with you, I would want them to kind of like be more like personal and
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Instead of just throwing a bunch of music at you,
Yeah, not just yeah, exactly. Like these all
you know?
mean something to me, not like, oh man, have you
Right.
heard these guys? Oh, have you heard
Right.
these guys? You
So
know,
like, yeah. So like, for example, like here's a bunch of songs from bands that we opened for or played with. You know what I
hmm
mean? Something like that. There's like thought there and intent and purpose. And,
yeah,
to me, like, it's like somebody put time into doing that. And, that should mean something.
that
Anyways.
could actually be a lot of fun. Putting
Yeah.
together like a playlist of the bands that we've played with before. That could be a lot of
Yeah.
fun, actually.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the We Were Loud Once podcast playlist
Family
part
values.
2, family values. There you go. And scene. I think we're
And
done now. Conversation's over.
that's awesome, dude. All right, man. Well, I think we've rolled this one out as far as we
Yeah.
can. You know,
I
it's
think
been great.
this
So
playlist is over.
that's right. This playlist is over. You've reached the end of the internet. So all
Yeah.
right, everybody. Thanks again for listening. And please make comments on our stuff and tell us, your feedback on what you think. And like
Yeah.
we like to share our information or our thoughts and ideas and stuff, but we want to hear yours too. You all lived it, or you're currently living it, and so we want to hear that. So please like,
Totally.
comment, and share as much as you can.
Definitely.
All right. Until next time.
We'll see ya.
Good journey.